Okay. All right, so let's just start standing for a moment. So TheraBand or strap and a blanket. You can also use a rolled up sticky mat, but we'll see. Okay, so let's just put that aside for a moment and just stand. Feeling your feet on the ground. Feet somewhat parallel, noticing if one foot is turning out or turning in. And then feeling your weight settle. Okay, so the weight of the pelvis down through the thigh, lower leg into the foot on one side and then the other side. Good. Even feeling this sense of kind of back body, back of head, right? Almost a downward movement, back of head, back of neck, back of rib cage, lower back, back of pelvis, down the backs of the legs to the heels. Just this quiet downward movement, almost tracing along the back line of your body. Just prompting your body to settle. And playing with an upward movement, so tops of feet, shins, knees, thighs, lower abdomen, chest, throat, face, just a very slight upward moving, very gentle. And almost down again, the back body. And maybe even kind of tuning into which one feels better or which one feels more invited, easier, and helpful, useful. Maybe emphasizing that quality more. And knowing that they're always in balance, and sometimes we're maybe one stream of energy is a little more prominent, so letting the other one come into balance. And then maybe even just tracing the center line. So if you think about perineum to crown, and almost tracing in front of the spine along the center of the body, extending that down between the feet and up a little. Noticing if your energy is pulling out away from that center line. And very similar, right? Almost tracing that center line. The central organizing line. Notice if there's more ease as you come towards center or more ease as you go away from center. Maybe out, just outside of the body or to the surface of the skin or out into the garden. Similar contrast. And then one hand on heart, one hand on belly, just letting your breath deepen. The inhale and exhale lengthen. And just holding those prompts loosely. That energy down the back line of the body. Gently up the front line. And tracing along that center line. Maybe even there is a point that you get drawn to, or maybe it's the whole line. Maybe the energy needs to diffuse out more. Just holding those loosely. 2 more breaths, inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. After your next exhale, inhale and exhale either hum or an om. Maybe separate the feet just a little bit. Just letting your weight shift side to side, knees a little bent. Good, and then let's add a little rotation. Just letting the arms swing, letting the weight shift. Good, feeling a little rotation in the feet and ankles, knees, hips, spine, arms. Good, and you can keep the arms pretty heavy and long, right? So you get that tapping on the side of the body, outer hips, back of hips. Good, and you can also play with letting the arms bend a little bit, so you get a little kind of side body and even kidney area. More up into the organs. Again, let it be easy. Kidneys, liver in the front, stomach in the front, kidneys in the back. Test them throughout the abdomen. Good, and then maybe even a little more bend, right? Letting the hands come to kind of front chest. And even up into the right bottom of the shoulder blade. Good. And then letting your hands find wherever that you can travel up and down the body. You can, right, certain points might feel much more nourishing or satisfying. A little tapping, a little body tapping. Good. And then just let it go and coming into just a simple spin. And coming back to stillness. Oh, okay. Let's grab our band. Band or strap. So let's just take a little, right? A little pull. Doesn't matter if it's a band or a strap, just a little pull. Taking the arms forward and up. I'm trying to move without, right, without moving the ribs. Right, so if the ribs start to tip, go the other direction. Couple more. And letting your breath come in. So with the arms overhead, notice how the breath changes and the movement through the ribs change. Good, more horizontal. Let's just do a little one side. You can let you're turning left arm can pull to the left, and then right arm can pull you to the right. Again, nice and simple. Letting your breath help you. Whether it's your inhale that brings you into the rotation or the exhale. Maybe play with both. Good, and then center. And then let's take the arms up. Good, I'm gonna let a little tip to one side. So I'm tipping to the right arm is just pulling a little. Right ribs pulling towards the right side of the pelvis. And up. Other side. Notice your breath. And up. Other side. And up. Good. And even noticing, does your body naturally kind of flex or extend as you come to the first side? Maybe looking down a little, like bringing those front ribs in a tiny bit. And up to center and other side. And looking down. Elongating the back body, widening the back body. And center, and then maybe looking up as you come to the side, a little more extension. And up to center and other side, maybe looking up under that, the top arm. Good, one more like that. And second side. Good, first side, looking down again, just reversing. And second side. And coming up to center. Okay, so let's actually just bring the arms behind the back, grabbing the strap. And just a little shift. Good, and letting your body stay upright. This is hard for my body. Good. One more each side. Good. And then just letting your arms move back and up away from the body. Then maybe looking down. And then looking up. And more neutral. Good. Okay. So arms a little wider. This is a little bit easier with a TheraBand, but that's okay. I'm just going to take the arms. Let's take the arms up and around and back. Right, with the TheraBand, you can choke up and make it a little more resistant. And with the strap, you just have to find the right length. Good, one more. Good, and then I'm just going to take the strap right behind the shoulder blades and bring the arms forward and let the back round a little bit. And then release the arms, take the arms up and forward. Bring the strap back and let the ribs lift up into the band. Good. I'm just going to take a moment, letting my arms rest. And then we'll do it a couple more times. Oh, I'm tired. My arms are tired. Okay, up and back. Good. And again, letting the arms come forward, the ribs and the shoulder blades push back, let the head drop. And then arms back, lift, arms come forward. Good, arms pull back, breastbone lifts up, head looks up. And then reverse. And feeling the movement of the ribs and the relationship of arms, shoulders to ribs. Good, one more each one. Good. Good. And we'll do one last thing, but just noticing your stance. Right, ribs forward, back. See if there's a little more play or a little more accessibility to finding neutral, moving out of your pattern. Okay, arms behind the body again. Just holding, so you can hold with your palms facing back or your palms facing each other. Let's actually just step 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And just a little tip, torso parallel to the floor. Just pulling the arms back and coming back up and tipping forward and coming back up and tipping forward. And let's just shift forward onto the front leg, lifting the back heel. And then lower the heel. And again, lift the back heel and lower the back heel. One more. Lift the back heel, shifting the weight. Knees can be soft too. They don't have to be pin straight. And shifting back and slowly come up. Let's actually open up our stance just a little. Make sure you have a little bit of room in front of you. I'm just going to tip forward. Good, let the knees bend. Let my weight shift onto the front leg. And I'm just going to lift that back leg a little bit. Arms reaching back and down. Lower the heel. Straighten that front leg. And slowly come up. Good. And release. Shift around to the other side. Other leg in front. Good. Arms behind. Good. And a little tip forward. Torso parallel. Arms reaching back. And slowly up. Again, knees can be slightly soft. Notice your feet. Where you land on your feet, where you roll to on your feet. And come back up. And then tip forward. Let's let that back heel lift, shifting more weight onto the front leg. And then shift back. And tip forward. And back. One more. Tip forward. And back. Heel down. And come on up to stand. Good. Maybe a slightly longer stance. Doesn't have to be. Pretty short. And I'm going to again tip forward. Good. Soften that front knee a little if you need to. And then up on toe tips and lifting that back leg. Doesn't have to be a lot. And then lower the foot down. Lower the heel down. Straighten the front leg. And come up. And release. Oh. Okay. It's probably enough. Probably enough arms. Let's grab blocks. Do one more thing standing. And I'm not going to use the blanket because it's more arms. So I'm going to grab blocks. Okay, let's stand with feet parallel, a little wider than shoulder distance apart. Good, just tipping forward over the legs. So I'm going to reach the arms back alongside the body, towards the wall behind. And then slowly come back up. And again, just tipping forward. And slowly come back up. Last one. Let's take the arms out to the side, reaching the blocks to the side. And then back and come back up. Okay, I'm just going to turn feet towards one side of the room, and feet somewhat parallel, back foot can be turned out a little bit. Again, I'm just going to tip forward, arms reaching back, and let's take the arms out to the side, blocks reaching to the side of the room. And then arms reaching towards the floor, not quite landing the blocks yet. Maybe even just bend the arms, lift the elbows up as high as the shoulders. Hands wide, elbows wide. And then let's land the blocks. Good, simple, simple. I'm just going to take the hand that's closest to, or the same hand as the foot that's in front, stays on the block. Other arm, you can even pull the elbow towards the ceiling. Just a little rotation, maybe the arm extends up. And then come down and switching hands. So opposite hand and that foot that's on the floor. Again, you can pull the elbow towards the ceiling, turning the ribs the opposite direction. Maybe the arm extends, maybe not. And reverse. Do that again. Same hand as the front leg. Other hand. Pulling the elbow up and then maybe extending the arm. And switch. Switch hands. Opposite elbow lifts towards the ceiling, turning the ribs. Maybe the arm extends, maybe not. Feeling the movement through the whole body. First hand, one more time. Pelvis turning, ribs turning, neck and head turning. Feeling how you catch your weight through your feet and your legs. Notice what happens when the pelvis turns, the ribs turn. And then both hand on block. Reaching the arms back again. Again, knees can always be a little bent. And come up to stand, turn the feet parallel. Other side. Good, back foot slightly turned out, front foot facing forward. Same thing. Just tipping forward, arms reaching back alongside the body. Good, and maybe just play with one, lifting the heel of the back foot. Notice how the spine organizes differently, and then lowering the back heel down. Notice what changes. And slowly up. And again, slowly down. Let's take the arms out to the side of the room. And back. And up. Notice where you're landing on your feet. You can even separate your feet a little bit side to side. Tipping forward. Then arms out to the side of the room. Arms reaching down to the floor, straight out in front of you. And even lift the elbows wide. Bend the arms, elbows go out and up. As high as the shoulder. Like a little push-up position. Just feeling the upper back. Just wake up a little. And then hands, blocks on the ground. Good. So same hand as the front foot on the block. Other hand, elbow lifts towards the ceiling, turning the pelvis and ribs. Maybe the arm extends. Little baby triangle pose. And switching. Right, opposite hand to that front foot. Elbow lifting, turning ribs, turning pelvis, turning neck and head. Maybe the arm extends to the ceiling, could be to the side of the room. First arm. Noticing your balance. Second side. Noticing the movement of the ribs. Noticing the breath. And noticing the weight shift side to side or front to back. And how your body adapts. how it meets the weight shift. Good. Bringing the arms back again alongside the body and coming up, and feet to face the front. And step the feet together. Yay. All righty. Okay, so let's come onto the floor. Good. Extend the legs for a moment, arms close to the body. Feeling what feels heavy or more weighted on the floor, what feels more lifted or pulling or pushing away from the floor. Do the ribs feel closer to the floor on one side, or the waist, or the pelvis? Good. Just letting the toes, knees, thighs roll in and out a couple times. Just feeling the difference in the two sides. And noticing sensation, density. And settle. Okay, and let's bend. Bend knees. And arms out to the side. Good. Little knee drop, slow, slow, slow to one side. And opposite shoulder heavy. So you feel the shoulder blade, the collarbone, the ribs, the upper arm heavy. Slowly tipping back to center. Second side. Letting the shoulder, the knees are tipping away from get heavy. Ribs wide, front ribs, back ribs, collarbone, shoulder blade. First side. So my head doesn't want to turn towards that arm, but I'm still letting that shoulder get really heavy. And second side. And center. Good. So right arm, let's take that right arm and just put it up to the ceiling above us. And then let that arm come across the body towards the left arm. Could be elbow, could be forearm, could be wrist. And then letting that right hand come to the floor above that arm and trace around the head. So you can either move from a straight arm or a bent arm, leading either from the wrist or the elbow. Just tracing all the way around the head out to the right. Okay, let's do that same arm again, right arm up to the ceiling. And so after we did those standing rotations, just notice, can you turn the ribs, the neck, the head without pulling the pelvis? Not that the pelvis won't move, but what is there a little separation? And then right arm again, slowly traces around the head and shoulders. And let's do one more, right arm up and over to the left. Maybe even let the knees just lean or bias to the right, just a little. And tracing that arm around and back to the right. Good. Left arm up to the ceiling above you.
and then across. And one side might be a little easier than the other as far as ribs pulling the pelvis, or just the limitation rib movement or rib, neck, head movement. Left arm tracing around the head. Good. Left arm up and across. And notice how the body rolls. Is this side stickier, and where is it stickier? Is it smoother? And how does that smoothness affect the breath? Last one, left arm up and across. Again, knees aren't necessarily tipping to the left, maybe just like biasing or not falling to the right. And then slowly tracing the arms around the head and out to the side. Good. Coming back to the knees, let's just do a little knee drop side. Good. Center. Again, aware of that, the X or the cross, right? So if the knees go to the left, there's that tissue between the front pelvis, the lower belly, chest, predominantly on one side, but you might feel both. Right, as you bring the torsion in, and other side. And noticing where you feel it more. And center. And then let's go to first side. My knees are to the left, doesn't matter, but I'm going to take my back foot, which is my right foot, towards the left foot. Just step the feet on each other, pause. Let's do another arm circle, right arm up towards the head. Either sliding along the floor or hovering off the floor or bent, but I'm going to trace that arm around the head. I'm just going to roll me onto my left side or onto my side, whichever side you're on. Pass that other arm down towards the knees, across the front of the knees, across the outer top leg, down the back line of the body, and out to the side. Good, and let's just do one circle the other way. Sliding towards the back body, across the outer thigh, knees, around the other arm, around the shoulders and the head, and out to the side. Slide the back leg away from the front leg onto the back. Good, tipping to the other side. Back foot sliding towards the front foot. Good, back arm sliding towards the head. Around the head, rolling you onto your side, sliding that arm around the stable arm towards the knees. Head passive as that arm moves around. Knees, outer thigh, back hip to the floor and out to the side. And then reversing direction. Sliding towards the body, along the back line, outer line, knees, around the opposite arm, around the head and shoulders, and out to the side. Good. Sliding that foot away from the other foot, rolling onto your back. Good, and just extending the legs for a moment, arms a little closer to the body. Again, noticing what's settling, what's widening, what's softening. what's quieting, what still feels fuzzy. And even just for a moment, allowing it all to be there. If there's room and space enough for all of it. And if the busyness is still louder than the softness, maybe just seek out the softness or the quietness or the centralizing or grounding just for a moment. Almost letting those two qualities be felt, more grounded, more busy and dispersed. Or more centralized, less centralized. Good bending knees, like that they come from or are part of the same space. And let's take the arms out to the side again, knees bent. Again, I'm going to tip to the right, both knees. Just a slow, simple left leg is going to slide towards the right leg and quietly around the leg. The knee can be bent, knee towards the opposite arm, maybe foot towards the opposite arm, keep it light. And then retrace steps back to where that foot started. Slowly knees tip up, pelvis rolls. Other side. Right leg tracing around the left leg. The knee can be bent. The knee lifting towards the opposite arm, maybe the foot. And listening to the body, listening to the breath, tracing all the way back around. First side again, nice and slow. This is a big ask. Again, either knee to the opposite arm or hand. And listening to what feels available, what feels helpful. Nice slow tip across the back of the body. Right leg tracing around that left leg. Long breath. Long breath. Good. One more time each side, making them as delicate as they need to be. And sometimes the softer and the slower, we might have more access to the movement. Again, listening, listening, listening. Right leg tracing around that left leg. And back to center. And just a small and steady anterior posterior tilt. It's that bilateral movement of the pelvis. Letting the movement of the pelvis also move the rest of the spine. Not necessarily by making the movement bigger, but by softening the rest of the body. Good. Let's take the feet a little wider, let the knees drop together.
And letting your breath lengthen. And then let's just slide towards a wall or a chair and just bringing your legs up onto the wall. You can grab a blanket if you'd like and just slip a blanket under your pelvis. Again, you don't have to be that close to the wall. You can be kind of more at a right angle. Instead of having the legs more vertical, you can have them more at an oblique angle. Just that slight inversion, again, looking for the shape of the pelvis that feels good on the lower back and belly. Just having that slight inversion. Turning the body upside down, even if it's subtle. Right, we may do this for lymphatic flow, blood flow. Also just moves more blood, energy, weight towards the upper, towards the glands, which is the brain, pituitary, pineal, thalamus, hypothalamus, thyroid, parathyroid, lungs and heart. Feel this widening in the back of the head, widening in the upper back, even through the ribs, mid ribs, lower ribs. Even the back of the pelvis widening. And as the back widens, letting the front body widen. Like the brow and the eyes, the cheeks, the mouth. The throat and the chest. The belly. And anywhere else, and it can even be very specific. Right, all the small muscles close to the spine, all that connective tissue just softening away from the spine ever so slightly. Maybe it's a specific area of the spine, base of neck, base of skull, mid back. Letting the breath lengthen. Soften.
Movement in fingers and toes. Hands and feet, and staying connected to that softness. With arms and legs. And bending knees, rolling to your side. And when you're ready, coming up to sit. And one hand on heart, one hand on belly. Again, just aware of how you're organizing or where your attention is. Maybe just let it come, belly, heart, wherever it's strong. Maybe just that sense of fullness, or like the fullness of the moon, or the fullness of the day, the brightness of the sun. Feeling that fullness within you, and then allowing that fullness to then reflect out or radiate out. Almost like the moon reflecting the sun. And then as we just letting any prayers, blessings move anywhere that is needed. Inhaling. Om.